Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463.
The Sphere Network. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today at advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, Dr. Ashandra Baptiste understands that one of the biggest obstacles is dental fear. The vision at Elite Dental Wellness is to ensure every patient is treated with respect, ultimate care, patience, and love. Call us today to make an appointment at area code 713-789-8680.
What's up, good folks? Welcome back to Technocrats, where we talk about the ins and outs of technology to empower the digital you. I'm your host, Gary Lee, also known as G Hawkins. Of course, you can find me anywhere online: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat at G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with the Z, and I'm with the lovely Ari McKinney. Hey, Ari, what's up?
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good to see you.
You too.
I see you with the pop of color, the fall color on your lip. I see you.
Thank you.
I was on All Things Beauty the other day. I had to do a guest set over there, which was unexpected,
I was gonna
but
say,
enjoyable.
That's different.
I know, right? It was very different. I've been on before, and I think part of the audience could tell because I started talking foundation, NARS. I was talking about things that they didn't realize I knew about, liquid lips versus mattes, and I'm diving into things. I know, right? Well, I just got a little bit of knowledge though, and I don't have a lot, just a little. But I'm trying to have this intellectual conversation about what men like, the lens that we have when it comes to women's beauty, whether it's fashion, hair, makeup, things like that, and our perspective. Right? So it's so funny because I'm a tech guy trying to dive deep into this totally different realm, but I think it worked out well. I had fun.
That's good.
You know, shout out to Naturally Kenvy over there on All Things Beauty, and of course the lovely Amethyst. So definitely we've got a action-packed show for you all today when it comes to technology. I want to say what's up for those that are on Facebook right now. Remember, Facebook Livers, we give you 15-20 minutes and you gotta go subscribe, and make sure y'all head over to the Patreon page because we're gonna have some exclusive content that's coming for y'all, so please get signed up for that. But without further ado, my dear.
Yes, shall we jump on in there?
Let's hop into our digital trends. So, digital trends, things that are coming down the pipe for you all, that's kind of taking over the wave of technology in all aspects of life. One of the things I saw, that has been a very big ordeal in the last couple of years has been drones. We've seen them from, just a consumer grade or even professional with the way people are doing photography now. We've seen them used as of late. I saw it used at a concert, at the Drake concert. Drake had drones at his concert that made patterns as they flew in the crowd and above him and around him and things like that, which I had never seen before.
That's super dope.
And it looks like some scientists have invented some really cool mini drones, Wasp-like drones that are able to lift 40 times their own weight. Ari, what's going on here with these drones that's possibly could be doing some damage to some folks?
Yes. So a group of scientists from Stanford University and Disney have developed these Wasp drones that they call flycrotugs. And so they're pretty impressive. They're capable of moving up to 40 times their their own, weight. So they're essentially using them for what they're thinking of situations such as like, a building, maybe a fire in a building, or
Opening doors for
opening
folks.
doors,
Mm-hmm.
searching through debris, being able to move debris. The ultimate goal is to be able to have them move as a collective,
Sure.
to have like a ton of strength,
Yeah.
and be able to get into places that, like first responders, where it's like too dangerous for them to get in there and try and see if there are survivors or if there are people still alive in rubble and things of that nature. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
I think that's super dope. We've
Yeah.
had conversations here on this table, and for those that are tuned in right now, some of y'all have been faithful listeners and watchers. We've been on for over 2 years now. We're at episode 105 today, or 104 or 5, one of them. We up there, 104 today. But we had a conversation about drones. We had conversations about them from Amazon utilizing the drones. We've had conversations from drones being able to transport people and things like that.
Yeah.
But the idea, and for those that are watching right now, not just our listeners, but our viewers, the ones watching on YouTube or in iTunes video, you're seeing now these drones that are able to open up this door in a
Right.
second here. And we sure to know that this door it weighs way more than these drones. But I think the point is, having the conversation about utilizing technology in a way that can save lives.
Yes.
That's important to me.
That's so important.
And I think you hit the head on a nail about them flying into places that other people can't get into.
Right. So yeah, that's and the cool thing is, so the way that they, I guess, utilize their strength is they're able to like tether to an object
Mm-hmm.
and then yank, and like the strength with which they're able to pull things once they're tethered is like up to 40 times their
Wow.
their
I mean,
own
that's
weight.
great.
So it's pretty cool. So yeah, the evolution of them would be to get a team of them
Sure.
working together to move huge piles of
Yeah.
rubble. I mean, it could, eliminate the need for, humans to get. You think, these situations with earthquakes and having like piles of rubble, trying to dig through and see if there are.
Well, let's be honest. And Monique, we see you tuned in on the Facebook Live. We want to say what's up to the
Hello.
rest of the crew that's in Facebook Live. Make sure y'all drop us a note so we can shout you all out. I think that there are a lot of positions that could be replaced by drones.
Yes.
And let me be clear, right? I don't want to ever disparage what anyone does or their livelihood and them putting their lives on the line, right?
Right.
Firefighters, we love you, we adore you. Police
Absolutely.
officers, the good ones, we love
Yes.
you, we adore you. People who risk their lives to save
We thank
others,
you.
paramedics, all those people in those positions, we adore you. We thank you for your service. Obviously, our full military, all branches.
Absolutely.
We thank you, we love you, we support you, we adore you. But to be able to utilize and leverage technology that's written by non-biased engineers and coders. Let me make it clear, right? Because if you want to take biases out, you have to have non-biased algorithms created. But to put them in harm's way, machines that can go in and save lives and do things that we can't do. You don't need oxygen for some of these machines to breathe. You can get in a tight and small places. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
That changes the game.
It really does. And for me, that's like technology at its best.
Very much so. I agree. What do you all think? Facebook Livers, those that are tuned in right now, let us know, how do you feel about this? You excited when we're talking about drones being able to be put into place to save lives? Some of these small little Wasp style tiny drones, 40 times their strength. Are you okay with drones replacing certain things, maybe even police officers someday? Are you okay with some type of AI replacing other key positions that can do more good than bad?
I mean, I think in terms of like, it's just kind of been the evolution of us as a nation and the world in general, that, as the world has evolved, certain careers and jobs have kind of, become obsolete. But I think it becomes a little bit more interesting when you think about it not being replaced by like just a shift in industries, but like by a machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I said, and as Marcus mentioned, non-biased, thinking of everything. He mentioned that on Facebook Livers for those that are watching this or listening to this later. But yeah, that type of concept, those things are important, man. Non-biased control algorithms, things like that. And guess what, folks? We're going to stay right here in our digital trends, because there's a lot of things that are popping off right now. Next up to bat. Speaking of drones are often controlled by artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is a bunch of code in situations that are like a big case statement that's written where if this occurs, this is how you react. If this occurs, this is how you react. Well, we're now seeing the arts get involved when it comes to artificial intelligence, which I think is very interesting in itself.
So do I.
And Ari, you bring up an excellent article about Christie selling their first AI portrait for
Yes.
almost half a million dollars. Let's talk about this.
Which is it's interesting for a few reasons. For one, I think it's like Christie's has been an institution for about 252 years, and they've never had an AI piece ever. So this is groundbreaking for that reason. But they had initially thought it would go for between $7,000 and $10,000, and it went for $530
or 432.
for 432,000.
That is crazy.
That is insane.
Well, and you know what? I think as the first, it makes sense, right? This is the first, whatever.
But
the
it's
second,
so
third,
much higher than projections.
Oh
though.
yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't pay this kind of money for no art. I don't. Yeah. I mean, that's disposable income. Bobby B, I see you. What up, Fi? I see you in there.
Hello.
And I think that when we talk about technology being able to not just push into doing things that we've commanded it to do, right? We talk about the artificial intelligence piece. I think there's a disconnect still with society and what AI really can do.
Right.
And we're talking about creating machines that think for themselves, that make decisions based on the information it's gathered, and they're going to utilize that information to push forward and give you a product or service rendered, right? So AI is big, and we're seeing it going into arts. We've seen it in driving and autonomous vehicles. Like, this is big stuff.
It is, and I mean, I think that's why it's been such a intriguing subject in movies for so long and things of that nature, because it's kind of, I mean, the thought that a machine can just fully think and discern for itself is cool, but also really scary. Like, to think that we kind of lose control in that situation, and that's always a scary thing. But this was this was created by a trio of 25-year-old French students who call themselves Obvious, and so they used a type of machine learning algorithm to create the picture, and essentially they generated a bunch of data and images from a bunch of other historical paintings, and then kind of allowed it to paint its own thing based on what it had.
How about that?
Yeah, and it's insane. It's not met without controversy.
Of course.
Well, for one, the code itself is a little controversial because they've apparently admitted that they have utilized a bit of code, some amount of code, from some open source software, and that this one particular guy is actual, but like other people say actually the guy they sourced it from as it's much more substantial amount than they want to let on, but there's not really much he can do since he posted it on the open source
database,
kid. So it's out there.
Open source. Grab it.
Lesson
it's
there
free,
being
$3.99.
If you gotta be careful with that. You never know what somebody can take with your code, and got to. So yeah, pretty cool.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So moving forward into this digital trend, I don't often mention this guy's name on this show, right? And that would be Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen too often. But let me say this, folks, for those that are tuned in, Facebook Livers, I see the comments. Mo, I see you. Drones will save lives someday. Marcus Good, got to learn from Apple. Apple has set a lot of precedents. Donald Trump, though.
Yes.
He, I stutter sometimes even thinking about tying him to intelligence and technology.
I know.
But let me say, a broken clock is
painful.
right twice a day, kid. Twice a day. Let me give this man this one. He has revealed a plan that he wants to push our country forward when it comes to 5G technology. Let's take a look at this article here. And and this is from CNET. And basically, Donald has said that he wants to put together a team, his own squad, to move forward with provisioning and making sure the U.S. is a leader when it comes to this new 5G. Now, some of y'all that are tuned in right now, y'all used to rock 2G, which was just edge. Some of y'all had that good old upgrade. We was talking about Apple earlier, 3GS. Had that 3G antenna in that thing. Then we moved over to the iPhone 4 with LTE, right? That's 4G. And of course, I'm not talking those who are on some of your CDMA networks. I'm not talking to y'all Verizon and Sprint folks. I'm gonna put y'all on the sidebar for now. But AT&T and T-Mobile, yeah, we're talking 4G networks, and that's what we utilize today. I'm rocking a OnePlus One 5T. You're rocking what, the iPhone 7? Yeah, 7 Plus, 4G phones. Yes. Able to push roughly about 40 megs of data, very similar to what you do at your crib, right? You're doing 100 meg at the crib, which is average. Some of us got fiber at the house, and we're doing a 1,000 megabits or 1 gigabit at the crib. 5G is roughly 1.4 gigabits of data at max speeds across that mobile device. Now, that might be non-impressive to some of y'all, but let's talk about the abilities or capabilities with this. When we're talking about autonomous cars, we're talking about vehicles that run themselves across the country, let alone the world. They need to be able to transmit data, not just between vehicles, but back and forth between the master service centers and places like that are going to need to communicate with these devices. Google being able to transmit traffic data back and forth. We're talking about video streaming that happens on a daily, which will undoubtedly increase. FaceTime has now kaboomed into this big thing that now everybody wants to do. A lot of times I see people just holding their phones when we used to all just talk on them. But FaceTime, which has been around since the iPhone 3GS, is now catching on. So all this paradigm shift that we live in when it comes to technology, that data has to transmit over some type of bandwidth. 5G, folks. 5G. That's the importance when it comes to your cellular connectivity. You want to be able to walk around and stream music and stream video and do all this FaceTime and do your lives. It takes more and more bandwidth to do that. 5G is what we're talking about. And Monique says that's exciting. It is exciting because everything that we do today, telemedicine, for doctors to be able to come in and operate across the world in holographic form, like that type of stuff is literally coming down the pipe. You need 5G technologies to be able to do that. And I'm just happy I don't have to dive deep into the article because it's shallow. He's shallow. Right. He ain't saying much. But the fact remains is that the FCC is being pushed by him, broken clock, twice a day, being pushed by Donald Trump to bring 5G technology to the United States. And guess what? AT&T is rocking with that 12 cities by the end of this year.
Well, I called AT&T. I was kind of annoyed because I just moved and I'm not getting the service I want at all. And I'm like, what's going on? And they were like, oh, well, let me have your zip code. And they found my location. They're like, well, we have 6 towers right now that we're currently like working on towers. So I don't know. Maybe the switch is slowly happening.
We shall see. And here's the biggest thing about this. And obviously, we're going to continue to talk about this. There's so much more conversation around 5G and what you can do with 5G technologies and phones, handsets. We're going to be talking about handsets that are coming down the pipe. There's a new handset coming out next week that has 5G technology in it. We're going to talk about all that. And unfortunately, all of those things revolve around the finances pushing forward to allow these things to occur. Speaking of finance, this particular portion of the show is sponsored by the Houston Housewives of Finance. So did you know that only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33% or more than 77 million of Americans don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month, and 39% of adults say that they don't have enough in savings. Don't become one of these statistics, folks. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or email them at info@houstonhousewivesoffinance.com. Ask them how you can participate in a complimentary financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finances are the new faces of the new age of financial services. And I know this to be true because they've got my kids right, and I ain't even got kids yet. Ain't that something?
That is.
Kids are straight. So, Facebook Livers, we got a lot more stuff to talk about. I got another article on this 5G I want to talk about. Plus, I'm going to talk Tesla today because earnings just hit, and this is proof positive of them being able to change the future of cars driving on the roads. And I know a lot of y'all have started to see those Tesla Model 3s on the road. We're about to dive into all of that. But guess what, folks? You got to go subscribe to get the rest of this. So head over to sphere.tv/Technocrats. We've got a few options. You can find us on Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeart, everything. You can find us everywhere. Spotify. We're even in your kitchen on your Amazon Alexa. So make sure y'all hit the subscribe button and give us some constructive criticism. Let us know how we're doing. Help us build better shows. We need the support in the reviews because that helps our ranking in iTunes specifically. So head over to iTunes, click the iTunes buttons on the website, go hit the stars, leave some comments. Let us know how you like the show so other people are aware. And share it with your family, your friends, your colleagues. Erlene, I see you with the dot. Bobby B, I see you with the link on LinkedIn. I see y'all that. Marcus Good, I see you. Swarm in by the Beltway, I see you, good sir. Make sure you all share this out with your family, your friends, your colleagues, your loved ones. Share with your technical haters. Share with anyone you know to help spread the show. And last but not least, as I alluded to when we started this, we got some hotness coming from Patreon where you can go and donate. Head over to sphere.tv/donate. We got a couple of options, one time on the website and multiple times via subscription over at Patreon. We are in the midst of building curated, cut content that's just for Patreon. You're not going to find it here on Facebook Live. You're not going to find it on the subscription. The only way you're going to be able to get it is by being on Patreon. We're doing $2 a month. We're doing $5 a month. We're doing a plan at $10 a month. And we're going to give content and other goodies that's just for the Patreon subscribers. We support y'all, and we want y'all to support us. So, once again, folks, the show's not ending. Make sure you go subscribe right here at The Sphere. All right, let's keep this thing popping.
Yes.
Okay, cool. One other thing about 5G that I want to talk about, and another article that I came across over from CNET, was we talk about 5G and how it's popping off, right? You got T-Mobile doing some stuff. They're shooting for the beginning of next year.
Right.
AT&T is working on some stuff by the end of this year. Verizon, everybody else will be following suit. T-Mobile wants to have full blanket deployment by 2020 for the whole country. The problem is the rural areas. You can't always get connectivity out to the rural areas, and it coincides with what you mentioned a moment ago, which is about the towers. These towers aren't built yet to handle this type of connectivity. Right. Hell, I'm driving down the West Park Tollway, and there's spots that I always lose coverage.
Or it goes
on
to
phone,
4G.
It's out of there. Or I go down to Edge sometimes, or 3G.
It's
like I get the H. For HSPA, for those that are unfamiliar with that, I drop down to a 2G service sometimes, or excuse me, HSPA plus is 3G. So I drop down to a 3G service sometimes because, you know, it's just where a tower is just dead space.
Right.
And I don't understand, after multiple mergers, billions of dollars that have been pumped into AT&T as a digital company. Why do we still have dead spots? And why can't people get out to the rootin' tootin' Kansans and Texans that are out here that, you know, are still belling hay?
That's a very good question. You know, I don't know. That's a great question. I think a lot of people are frustrated by that. I mean, you know, a couple weeks ago I was out in East Texas, and I was like, it was like a weekend of like just being disconnected that I wasn't anticipating.
Yeah.
'Cause I couldn't get, it didn't matter where I went. And I'm like, I have AT&T. They should literally be everywhere. You would think at this point, as long as we've now had, LTE and whatnot, that we would have enough towers everywhere that could accommodate, just not having a drop signal at all. And there's no reason we should be ever dropping down to 3G as far as I'm concerned at this point.
I mean, you would think, right? when I remember the first time I saw my cell phone get like 40 megs down, I was like, whoa, that's data. Like I'm good. But to now think that my cell phone could be getting a gig down on my cell phone. I mean, I just thinking about what I could stream with that. There's no need. So walk with me here.
Yes.
As I take this digital journey. For those that are tuned in, our subscribers, walk with me here. If I'm able to now stream at that type of speed, there's no need for storage. There's no need to cache unless I'm on a subway, which may not have coverage down there. I was in New York a couple of weeks ago. I'll be in New York in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And there, sometimes on the subway, you lose connectivity.
Right.
As long as the doors open, you at one of the stations, I'm at 42nd, I'm good.
Right.
When I'm going between 42nd and 49th,
Right.
I ain't got no
Nothing.
coverage.
Right.
I got nothing, right? So I think that there's a need to cache data.
Mm-hmm.
But these cell phones with 256 gigs of storage, 128 gigs of storage,
Yeah,
is that
is that
was
necessary?
What do you think?
No. I guess not. You know what I mean? I mean, it would just.
I mean, that's
It would.
what I said.
The argument could certainly be made
Sure.
that one would not need it. I would be interested to see what it would do to like sales of the big storage iPhones and stuff like that.
I mean, I don't need a half a terabyte
Right.
on my phone.
I could do. I could be content with maybe 64 or
Yeah,
32.
64
Or
gigs,
64?
yeah. If I need to, just for some, I've got this in my pockets and I'm on a plane,
Right.
which doesn't have connectivity. I may need a few movies, a couple of albums. I'm good, but I don't see the need for over 128 because of that.
Right. I agree.
So.
And then that changes the kind of the pricing game.
Exactly.
It has a lot of implications.
Yeah. Why do I pay? Why
Would I pay $2,400 for?
Apple's charging what, $1,600 for the biggest
For the
iPhone
250s?
XS or something like? It's like
No, it's like it's over $2,000.
No, I can't be that high. Don't say it ain't so.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Say that ain't
I'm
so.
pretty sure.
I'm going over right
For
now.
the
to
XS
that.
or the XR?
For whatever their biggest XS. Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. Hit the buy button
Right.
on that thing. And it looks like the cost of the iPhone XX, if I select it with the 6.5 inch with AT&T, let's just say, in a space gray at 512 is $1,449. That's the
Yeah.
price of a souped up laptop.
It is.
Y'all got me messed all the way up. That's all I'll say.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
I'll leave it there. Yeah.
All right. Well, this portion of the show is sponsored by The Sphere. Are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv.
There it is. Shots fired. So, last but not least, and I alluded to this right before we killed Facebook Live. Tesla.
Yes.
Shout out to Elon Musk with your crazy
Shout
self,
out.
man. Manipulating the markets and
Oh,
getting
man.
SEC phone calls
Oh, man.
and having to pay millions of dollars in restitution.
Getting visits he doesn't want.
He's a wild boy.
He's a wild man.
Wild boy. So Tesla's third quarter earnings just hit.
Yes.
And they shocked the world. Tesla went profits.
Yes.
They went positive on a third quarter earning that shot the stock up roughly about 12% or so in after hours and next day earnings. They have a positive free cash flow of $881 million. This is bananas.
It's
and the reason
insane.
why this is bananas, folks, is because they hadn't had a positive quarter in about 2 years.
Yeah.
And I had to explain this to somebody not too long ago. I said most companies that start out, they are negative because it takes money to make money.
Yes.
You literally have to borrow money to build out things, your dreams, your aspirations. And over time, it becomes profitable, which is why the IRS gives you, and I'm giving y'all some gems on the business side. I'm giving you all kinds of gems right now.
Drop the knowledge.
You have 2 to 3 years, sometimes a little bit more, for you to turn a profit into business according to the IRS before they consider that business a hobby. And then when they do, your federal ID number, your tax ID number, your TIN, is no longer applicable to be able to put charges against it, right? So it takes time. Tesla has been out there since 2008 when they first started working on their Roadster. 2012, 4 years later, Roadster was proof of concept. 4 years later was their sedan. $70,000 to $140,000 for the Model S, and then 4 years after that, they released the Model X, which was their SUV. They had a $5,000 bump in price point, $75K up to about $145,000, almost $150,000 for a full build out. Now, throughout all that time, most of the time, every quarter they were $2, $3 in the hole. They were expected to be $2.09, I believe, in the hole on their earnings. I have to go and double check my numbers, but they were cash flow positive, a little under $3 a share this time around. And here's the thing. This is why this is important from a technological perspective. Tesla has been focused on their newest baby, which is the Model 3. The price points I mentioned to you were $75,000 starting off. The Roadster, the proof of concept, was at $125K out the gate, right? So Model 3, the claim to fame for this is that they could get over 250 miles to the charge, starting at $35,000.
Yes.
That is the price of a Honda Accord
Yeah.
with gasoline. But we're talking about a car with no engine that you charge at home. Maintenance is almost gone because there's no engine. The transmission's all solid state. The motor is solid state. So there's not a lot of movable parts in this vehicle and not a lot of maintenance involved. And you're using electricity to drive. This has been a hit, a success, hence the fact that they are cash flow positive for these earnings. They are meeting their numbers as far as deliveries are concerned, and they hadn't even dropped the full $35,000 price point vehicle yet. Ari,
Yes.
this vehicle is making waves and is proving to the world that you can have a mass market, which is the first time ever, electric vehicle.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on this?
I love it. I think, in true Tesla fashion, it's just, blowing everything up. Killing it. I think it's, I think people consider, Tesla to be, the luxury side of cars in general, let alone, on the electric spectrum of things. So I think to be able to make an affordable option available, I think was the smartest thing they could have done.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I think for a while, I don't know. Unless you're really a car enthusiast and maybe really follow it, like I'm not. So I really didn't ever think we'd see a Tesla that affordable. Yeah. I kind of thought it would always be
for the rich and famous.
Right. So that's, it's a game changer.
Indeed.
I think it's super cool. And I think the implications for now that we know we can do luxury, so to speak, affordably, what's that going to mean for gas-powered cars?
Well, so here's, and once again, for those that are tuned in to us, I remember back in the day, about a year ago, one of our co-hosts, Jonathan Davis, we had an in-depth conversation about certain countries in the world that are putting regulations on gasoline vehicles. It was either Sweden or Norway. We may have to jump back and look at the notes here, but Sweden or Norway or one of those European countries, they're banning a gasoline-based vehicle starting at the year 2025 or 2030, meaning you can no longer sell those vehicles in that country.
They're going to be obsolete.
You can keep your current gas vehicle if you still have one, but you can't buy
once that goes, that's it.
Like, so they're going all electric or hydrogen.
Wow.
It will be a non-combustion vehicle country as far as purchasing. And that's the wave. We've heard things coming out of Germany. We've heard things coming across on the eastern side of the world, or European side. Well, I guess it's still considered Western.
Yeah.
Western side of the world, but in Europe, in which will eventually hit the United States. But this is exciting. And this also means that if Tesla doesn't need to go into any type of debt reconciliation or borrow any more money because they can now go positive, they've got another vehicle coming down the pipe called the Model Y. It's also scheduled to be in that $35,000, $40,000 range, and it's the smaller. So the Model 3 is the smaller version of the Model S, right? So 4-door, mid-size sedan, smaller. Now I won't call it compact. It's not compact, but it's just a small, like the BMW 3 Series or 4 Series, right? Since they don't make 3 Series anymore, I don't think. They just make the 4 now. But the Y is the smaller Model X. So it's the smaller SUV.
Right.
So like the BMW
Like
X3 to
yeah.
the X5, so to speak. So that's what's coming down the pipe. And as you make these smaller vehicles, which speaks to the eastern part of the United States, your New Yorks, your Phillies, places where parking is scarce, places where you need smaller vehicles, that you're more conscious of a smaller vehicle anyway because of current cost of gas.
Well, also in that, in those places, 200 and if it's going 250 something on a charge, that's like you could be states.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah,
you're good. That's saving, so you're good. You could, theoretically take like out-of-state road trips and never have to get gas.
Well, never have
to charge. Excuse me. Yeah. Never have to charge. That's going to be a bad habit to break. Even just like talking about,
I'll be talking about being on the gas pedal. Like there's no gas. It's an accelerator.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah.
So but I mean, that's. Just a game changer.
Yeah,
for sure.
Heavy game changer.
I mean, like, do you think that it'll be a pushback with the wave in the United States for us to move away from gas? Like,
how about this? It's already been a pushback.
Well, true.
The reason why the reason why hybrid vehicles exist right now is because the oil and gas industry gives hundreds of millions of dollars in kickbacks back to GM, Ford, Chevy, all these other companies, so that they do not run and create mass market electric vehicles. Because if you do that, you ostracize your biggest partner, which is big oil.
Right.
And that industry starts to fall. They make billions of dollars a quarter in oil, right? So it's not to their best interest for companies to move over and start creating great electric vehicles. That's why you've had hybrids for 20 years of hybrids.
Yeah.
Tesla came in here in 10 years and has totally redesigned what this looks like when it comes to electric vehicles. That's crazy.
It really is.
10. Model T's been around since 1906. 1906, we've been on gasoline-based vehicles.
Yikes.
Over 100 years. Tesla, in 10 years, changed the face of that.
Good old Elon
Yeah,
Musk.
they're not taking oil money.
Yeah, that's true. They don't have those same, they're not under
loyalties.
big oil's
thumb.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
I'm sure you're right.
For sure. Awesome. Well, this portion of the show is sponsored by Elite Dental Wellness. At Elite Dental Wellness, our vision is to create a welcoming practice that will offer exceptional dental care and a lifetime of dental wellness. We are committed to the finest possible oral care and the overall health and well-being of our patients. Elite Dental Wellness is built upon a foundation of integrity, expertise, and service. Through our commitment to modern dentistry, continuing education, and friendly atmosphere, we strive to make our patients feel that they are a part of our family. Dentistry can be scary, daunting, and uncomfortable. Dr. Batiste and her team work tirelessly to ensure your comfort. Make your appointment today with Dr. Chandra Batiste at Elite Dental Wellness by calling 713-789-8680.
Get your smile right, folks. Last thing I want to mention, and this is not on the Runner Show, but just piggybacking off this Tesla article, I saw an article. I don't know where it was, what website it was on. I saw it and I was like, and I kept rolling, but I was like, yep, I already know that. Elon Musk had made mention to somebody about your car making money while you sleep. Let me walk this all, and let me tie it all together for the folks that are still tuned in for us, for our faithful subscribers. We talked about AI earlier.
Right.
Drones, right? Drones normally either have a drone controller, but if you put artificial intelligence in place, drones can go out and do what it needs to do. Even today's drones have a bit of AI because you can do return home.
Right.
And a drone will fly itself home, and it uses AI to make sure it stays level, avoid obstacle avoidance, and all kind of other cool stuff, right? So we take AI. We're talking about 5G connectivity. You're talking about Tesla and electric vehicles. I mentioned this earlier, but I'm gonna bring it back home right now. Autonomous vehicles.
Yes.
The Model 3s that are created now have full autonomy hardware built into them. You have to pay an up fee. I think it's either $2,500 or $5,000 in order to full disclaimer, because I do talk about Tesla. I'm a Tesla stockholder and I own a Tesla Model S. So when I talk about it because I know it, but I want to make that disclaimer because I'm never trying to tell people to go buy. I am a stockholder, and I think that I have to say that to ensure that nobody takes my information the wrong way. I'm not telling people to go out and buy the stock, but I am a shareholder. When you get this vehicle, if you enable this option, you've got somewhat autonomous capabilities. It's the rev of code is backed to where it doesn't go full autonomy, but the hardware is in place.
Right.
When you add in 5G connectivity, which we'll have now in certain cities, right? When Tesla decides to turn the full feature on for full autonomy, when they feel like it is ready to rock and people are accepting of it, your car being able to not just pull itself out the garage, which they do now, that's called summon. So you can enable summon on your vehicle. It will open the garage door, back out, close your garage door. We're talking about the vehicle leaving your house with nobody in it, going to a destination, and coming back to your house with nobody in it. Elon Musk made a comment that your Tesla will make money for you while you sleep. And the reason why he made this comment is because about a year ago, he made mention that he wanted to build a Tesla car sharing service where you could put your car into the pool and your car could go do Uber style trips for you, meaning your car could go pick up people and drop them off, and you would make money from your vehicle as if you were an Uber driver. Right, for your car being able to do that without you
interrupt your sleep.
Without you having to do anything.
Wow.
So basically your car takes you to work, drops you off at work. Your car goes out, makes money, picks you up, picks you up from work, and then you go back home. Your car literally, with an autonomous feature rolling over a 5G network, can be an investment tool when we've never in our lives been able to see that before.
No, we've always, I was always taught, car depreciates as soon as you take it off the lot. Now it's like, what?
Yeah.
Now it has the ability to be a money maker instead of a money pit.
Yeah, money saver.
For the first time ever.
I've saved 22. I calculated the other day. I've put 150,000 miles on my car. I've saved at $3 a gallon. I bought my car when gas was $4.50 a gallon back in like 2013. Today, gas is like $2.50 a gallon. So average $3 a gallon. I've saved about $22,000 in gas. $22,000. That's a car.
That's another car.
I've saved a car in gasoline. Like, that's real rap. Yeah. But to think that one day I could send my car out and it could go and do Uber style services.
You could make your money back and then some.
You could buy the car and have it working all day to pay the
car note, right?
I mean,
it literally pays for itself.
That's almost like Airbnb, right? You buy a house, you put it on Airbnb, it makes all the money to pay the house note. That's the same, and you own the vehicle, whether it's a car or a home. You own this asset that is appreciating in value, and it's making money for you.
And the only thing I can think of that's even remotely close to that is that Turo app that they have in like California.
I've heard of Turo, but I don't know a lot about it.
So it's
Turo.
Turo. So it's essentially like an Airbnb, but for cars. So people list their cars and there's locations, and I guess like some sort of either like lockbox situation or whatever that you go pick up the key from. So they have their prices and where the location is that you pick the car up from, and all of the instructions and like what you're allowed to do, not allowed to do, blah blah blah, and you book it and go pick it up, and it's yours until you bring it back to the location. So that's probably the closest thing I've seen, because I used it in LA. It was pretty cool.
Uber to your Turo.
Right. So I mean, that's the closest thing though that I can think of in a case where your car is making money for yourself that you're not driving it.
How about that?
But this is that on steroids.
Yeah, on steroids. Literally.
That's a whole nother ballgame.
Whole nother level.
Yeah.
But guess
Thank
what,
you,
folks?
Elon Musk.
Thank you. We want to know what you think. Would you buy a Model 3 or a Model Y or even a Model S or X and then put it into a sharing situation where it can go out and make money for you? Are you down with Trump and the 5G plan that he has for the United States? How do you feel about these drones being able to carry 40 times or push or manipulate 40 times their own weight? We want to know. Shoot us an email, Technocrats @thesphere.tv, or hit us across social media @thesphere.tv. Use our coveted hashtag Technocrats. We want to know how you feel about these things. Ari, my dear, this has been another great episode.
As always.
Let the people know what you have going on, if you got anything going on, and of course where they can find you at.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat @DishWithAri. And that's that, I guess. Not too much going on, really.
That's cool.
Hey,
that's
like
sometimes.
a good thing sometimes.
Well, I'll be out. It's Halloween weekend, I guess, kind of sort. I'm gonna try to find a haunted house. So if you're in the Houston area, hit me up @G Hawkins. That's G Hawkins with a Z across all social media platforms. I'd love to come out, kick it with you. But other than that, this has been another great episode of Technocrats.
Yes.
We'll see y'all next time.
Next week.
Take care.